Kenya, we are not ready. Tanzania, Uganda, they have gaps in stadium infrastructures and other key preparations that could complicate in hosting the AFCON 2027. So before we talk about the AFCON 2027 hosting Ärocho and the struggles that these three countries we are facing, let's go back first to the FIFA Series. The opening fixture, the tournament will kick off on Saturday, April 11th, and then we will play our first matches against India at 6 p.m. And I believe that one for Kenya, vile tumeona mademu wetu wakicheza, I believe that's hiyo tunaipiga. And then Australia will take on Malawi earlier at 2 p.m. Ärocho, hii game before we move on to AFCON 2027, Kenya versus India.
Well, another thing about this tournament is that as Cape Media, I think we are going to be partners of this great event. And being partners comes with a lot of advantages. So I see in-house, in terms of Cape Media, we are going to benefit in that we are going to be the partners for the tournament. But once again, it's a stage. It's a good stage for our ladies to showcase their talent, and also our infrastructure. Our infrastructure, when I talk about that, I talk about the communication, the movement from our airport, and that, I think that's the reason why even CAF has a soft spot for Kenya. And this leads me to think that even the AFCON, the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony, most likely are going to be held in Kenya because of the easiness of moving from the airport to the stadium and of course to the hotels. So this gives us an advantage. And the ladies tournament, once again, will just be a testing ground, just to make sure that our systems run well before we move to AFCON. I've heard rumors that AFCON might not be played here. Some people are talking about South Africa, but I'm just taking this opportunity to assure Kenyans that as a country, I'm not seeing the reason why Kenya should not host AFCON. We are having problems with our neighbors. The other day, the Ugandan new stadium had issues. CAF raised some red flag with certain issues with that stadium. But look at Talanta, for example. It's just about to be opened, and I believe this is one of the stadiums that is going to be the epitome of AFCON in East Africa. So me, I'm not worried. People who are saying that Kenya might not be ready, I don't see what they mean. Yes, we had not perhaps committed ourselves financially, but that is just a touch of a button. Somebody can touch that button and that money is being paid. Infrastructure is more important, if you ask me, in terms of getting ready for such a huge tournament. Us not paying the fees that are required. Well, for me, that one is neither here or there. Touch a button, and the dollars have gone to CAF.
Talking about in the infrastructure, Ärocho, there has been rumors, and they are saying that Kasarani and Talanta Stadium are not fit to host the AFCON 2027. And so they're asking if we will be ready by, before the tournament starts, that if we're going to be ready, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, to host these, having the fact that we've not also paid the fees that are required to be paid.
I think it's only the fees. If you talk about Talanta, because Talanta and Kasarani are going to be the major venues in Kenya, we are ready. I don't see why Kasarani can be picked as one of the stadiums that is not ready. Talanta is a magnificent center, and I'd like to applaud the Ministry of Sports, that is our CS and our PS. They've been quite consistent in inspecting our ground. And CAF, if in any case we were not ready or we were not getting ready, CAF could have raised a red flag on Kenya. The only thing they've said is that we've not paid the amount. But in terms of our infrastructure, guys, we are ready.
Leon Otieno, do you think that we are ready, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, to hold AFCON 2027, having the fact that bado pesa ijatolewa?
I think we are very ready, and it's so unfortunate that they are trying to talk about us not being ready. And they talked about the money that hasn't been paid, of which I'm 100% sure the government will work on that, because the government have been really in support of football of late, and we really appreciate that. And like Ärocho has said, the Ministry of Sports, I'm sure they are working on that. On the infrastructure part, it's not the first time they are talking about our stadiums not being fit. Before the CHAN, I think there was an issue about the stadiums not being fit. And at the end of the day, they cleared the stadiums and we hosted CHAN. So I think it's the same thing. For Kasarani, I think Kasarani is fit to host it. I think Nyayo is fit. For Talanta Stadium, the pitch is not finished yet. I think they'll be wrong to judge an unfinished stadium. But going forward, I'm 100% sure we'll host the AFCON, and it will be a brilliant tournament since Kenya is a big country. And everybody will be looking forward to watching the AFCON being hosted in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda.
Still on the AFCON, let's listen to what CAF President Patrice Motsepe had to say about Kenya when he visited Kenya the last time.
I think, and I'll be visiting Kenya in May. There's a meeting of heads of state, and I wasn't initially going to go to Kenya, but some of the heads of state are people I've known for many years, and they were insisting. So I'll use that visit to Kenya. There's some certain things they've asked me to do whilst I'm there, but I'll use that visit to inspect the stadiums and infrastructure in Kenya for this very important competition that's going to take place next year.
That was CAF President Patrice Motsepe. He'll be visiting Kenya in May, and let's all hope that it will bring in a positive review from him. Now, still on AFCON, let's talk about Senegal, that they defied the CAF. They sent an appeal about the CAF decision at the Court of Arbitration for Sport last Thursday. And Morocco have been declared the winners, but also what happened, it has brought in a lot of controversies from Africans and from people who love football. Now, Senegal have still chosen to play with their two